What's up, everyone? I'm Cynthia for the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. Bob Santos, you were just telling me such a great story that I won't be able to ask your fighter that's going to be fighting on the October 19th card at Crib Royale, but this is fascinating. Dainier Pero, he's a heavyweight, very elusive fighter. He's a bigger version of Usyk, so this is very exciting. Now, he has a brother, an older brother named Lenier.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was just telling me the story, the backstory of how the brothers defected from Cuba. Please continue. Actually, please start over with the story.
Well, obviously, I trained his older brother, Lenier Pero, top 4 heavyweight in the world, and when his brother was trying to defect to this country, he had said if he ever was to make it, he'd want me to be the lead trainer for his brother. And he was telling me the backstory of one of the times that he tried to defect. As they were trying to leave Cuba, the Cuban military caught them and took them to basically in the middle of Florida and Cuba, a deserted piece of land. And
Is it owned by the U.S.? Is that like by Guantanamo or anything?
You know, I don't know, but they left him there. And had he not been an Olympian and the people got in an uproar, what happened to, Dainier Pero? They started banging the drums on the government like, hey, what the heck's going on with these guys? And so they had left him there for many days. And so as time was going on, they're trying to survive out there. Some of the people obviously perished. And one of the things that kept them going is sometimes off the ships, the containers of oil that would, the barrels that would get dumped came onto shore. So when that came onto shore, they had a little bit of the container that caught water, so they were drinking actually oil and water to survive. And thank God for the people of Cuba that made an uprising with the government, obviously, that they finally sent a search team to get him. That was one of the times that he tried to defect, or he wouldn't be here with us. And that's Dainier Pero, the best young heavyweight in boxing. I tell everybody he's a bigger version of Usyk, and you'd be looking out for him.
That is such a great story. I mean, the backstories of fighters like that, because you just see them in the ring, but when you really hear the adversities they had to get here just to even survive, it's telling, it's sad, it's a beautiful story, and I cannot wait to interview him. Bob, that's I can't wait to say these are some big words when you say he's a bigger version of Usyk.
Yeah, definitely. He's got all the talent that Usyk got. He's a bigger version of Usyk. Obviously, he has to prove it in the ring, and obviously, I'm not saying that he's going to become Usyk. Obviously, what Usyk has done is, second to none. And, you have to stay the course. So, as we know, a lot of fighters or people in general, as money starts to come in, is your hunger there, is your desire there. And as long as that stays there, he's definitely, to me, going to be one of the youngest heavyweight champs in the world.
Now, let's hypothetically say, because we think of the Klitschko brothers, we think of the Charlos, and their mothers say you are never allowed to fight each other. Let's just say it does happen. You're the trainer for both of them. Do you train either one, or do you just take a step back? And if you did take a step back, who would you advise to train each fighter? Oh, that's a really good question.
Well, since I always give it straight to the people out there. One thing you know about me, I never bullshit anybody. So I'm going to have to go with Dainier. If I had the two of them, I'm going to have to go with Dainier because I'm his manager too. Oh. And he's really a part of our family. With my wife, he actually lives with me. So the other brother lives in Miami. He actually lives with me. He was living in the camp house at Robert Guerrero's, and he was there for a while. And then he decided, hey, he wanted to be a little bit closer connection. So he came and lived with me and my wife. So he's really a part of our family, and obviously I manage him. So no disrespect, Lenier. You're my guy. Hopefully you guys never have to fight, but I'm definitely gonna have to go with Dainier Pero.
Apparently he picked a side. I did not expect that answer. I thought maybe.
I never bullshit the people out
I
there.
thought you were gonna say I'm Switzerland. I'll just manage from the outside.
They're both my guy, obviously, but I manage the one, and the one guy lives with me. I couldn't do that.
Okay, so before they all get here real fast, I know we have Better BF versus Bivol. I love asking you predictions because you're so thorough. Please break it down, because everyone I read, they're like, we think this, but this. Boxer versus puncher.
Well, I think the interesting thing about it is I think Bivol's a little better puncher than people think. And that being said, I think Better BF's a little bit better boxer than people think. So they can do a plethora of different things in the ring. I have it really as a 50-50 fight. And really what it's going to come down to, who wants it more, who's going to step up and take it to that next level. And I think whoever does that is going to be the one that's victorious. But that's truly a 50-50 fight.
Do you think with Beterbiev's ring rust, because he hasn't been in the ring as much as Bivol has, do you think that will affect him? And especially he gets injured easily, like the bloody, like Bivol has not. Do you think that will play a factor in the fight?
100% that's going to play a factor in the fight. But that being said, one of the other things, the catch-22 to that is, though, maybe the time off for him, being that he's so old, and obviously because he is old, that, the injuries start to occur, obviously, as we get older. That's just, human nature in life. So, that being said, maybe the time off will help him. So we'll see how it plays out. I like the guy to be active, but for him, who's such a big puncher, a devastating puncher, I think he's a little bit too strong for his own body. I know that I had that with Robert Guerrero when he was in the lighter weight classes. It's like he'd be throwing his shoulder out. And the doctors say he's more explosive, than what his body can handle. So maybe that's the case with him. And the time off, maybe that's going to be beneficial to him. But we're going to find out. But I truly have it a 50-50 fight.
I mean, it's a Ruski versus Ruski. I have to admit that I've never seen, I'm not even sure if it's him or if it's like some other Eastern Europeans, Russians, but they be sparring and playing with bears. Have you ever seen those things?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that could be a better BF, but I'm not exactly sure. Now we have, there's a lot of talk of Teofimo and Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford was having fun the other day on Twitter, and he's like, Teofimo, you haven't fought anyone. You fought like Loma, a couple people, but who have you fought? That fight maybe should happen because there's he holds a belt in the super welterweight division. We would like him to fight Fundora if that ever is going to happen. But let's just say hypothetically Teofimo does get made. Is that a fight you would like to watch?
Of course. I think they're both great entertainers. I think Terence Crawford, obviously, pound for pound, is one of the best in the world. And Teofimo, he's had some great wins in his career, and I think he's great for the sport. And why wouldn't you want to see those two guys in the ring? Just like I'd like to see Terence Crawford in the ring with Canelo. I think I think Canelo's a little bit too big for him. But you know what? That's what makes guys great, is when they take on challenges that we think can happen, and then when they do it and it does, that's what's great about the sport of boxing. Oh, this guy doesn't deserve a title shot. Buster Douglas doesn't deserve to fight Mike Tyson. And then he fights him and beats him. So that's what's great about the sport of boxing.
But when they say there are weight classes for a reason.
Of course there's weight classes for a reason. There's no two ways about that. But I had a guy, Robert Guerrero, won the 26-pound title, won the 30-pound title, went all the way up to 47, won the 47-pound interim title, challenged Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones was able to go up to heavyweight. But certain guys can transcend weight classes to a degree. I think Crawford's one of those guys. Do I have him beating Canelo? No. Like I said, I never bullshit the people. I'm always going to give it to you straight. But I think he deserves the opportunity to try. And, would I be 1,000,000% shocked if he pulled it off? No. That's what makes these great fighters great. You just never know.
You're like one of the very few that would like to see a Crawford versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Crawford. Doesn't matter. People get mad at me. They're like, you have him as the A side. Don't matter. Whoever's going to get paid. Now, I saw one of your fighters, congratulations, getting on the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson card. Oh! No one cared about that fight because when it was a Tyson versus Jake Paul, and then people paid attention when Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor were like, all right, more legit boxing fights on the card. Were you in line for that? Did you put your name in the lottery, or when you got the call, you're like, yes, I don't even have to ask my fighter. No,
I mean, obviously that's a great thing that we've had with Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. Obviously, Mario, for the most part, has fought on PBC cards, and Al giving him the opportunity to go over to Netflix, and that tells you a lot of things. Like sometimes people say, oh, Al Heyman, he's trying to block this fight, he's trying to block that fight. That just goes to show you he's letting us fight on Netflix. It's a huge opportunity. I think it's the first fight Netflix is ever going to do. And
yeah. Okay, yeah. You're being summoned over there. You're a big old heavyweight, Bob Santos. All right, Bob.
Yeah, Bob Santos boxing.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna make sure your prediction is 6, so we'll find out. All right, thank you, Bob. All right, guys. I'm Cynthia for the Best Women's Boxing Show. Period. See you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.